What's good, everybody? Ani Singh here. In today's video, it's gonna be crazy, bro. Let's get right into it. Today's video is gonna be about congressional stock trading. Congress is insane return with the market. I don't know how they're doing this. People in Congress gotta be former hedge fund managers, because I don't know how they're getting these returns, but let's get right into it. If you guys don't know what congressional stock trading is, it's basically where members of Congress trade stocks. It is totally legal. It's totally legal to trade and sell stocks. It's totally legal. But people have problem with congressional trading. The main problems are insider trading. They think when someone with that much power trades stocks, some laws and regulations passed will be biased, help the stock, whatever they invest in, their price go up or down. But numbers don't lie. Let's take a look at Congress's returns in the market in 2023. This is insane, bro. These are insane. Are you guys ready? I don't think you guys are ready. This is Congress's stock returns in 2023. First, let's get into the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is supposed to be the most stable investment vehicle. The S&P 500 return was 24.8% in 2023. 32 members of Congress beat the S&P 500. That means they got a higher return than 24.8 in 2023. Guess what? Only 11 hedge fund firms beat the S&P 500 in 2023. That means Congress is being the professional money managers. I think hedge fund and Congress need to flip roles. Hedge fund need to become Congress, and Congress needs to become hedge fund managers, because the numbers don't lie. The highest return in Congress was Brian Higgins with a whopping return of 238.9% in one single year. Do you know how insane that is? Do you know how insane that is? 238.9%. Let's say Brian Higgins was an ETF and you invested $1,000 into Brian Higgins. Do you know what that return would be? Around there, $23,800, around there, for just $1,000 investment. How is there so much concentrated skill with stock trading in Congress, bro? There's 535 members of Congress. 16% of Congress beat the S&P 500. That means 16% of Congress beat the S&P 500. Do you know how hard it is to beat the S&P 500? It is one of the most stable investment vehicles. It's been proven decade over decade that the S&P 500, it's going to go up. If you want to invest in something, invest in the S&P 500. And 16% of Congress beat the S&P 500. Is that kind of shady? Let's just say this just might be a coincidence. Okay, let's chalk this up as a coincidence. Let's say they just have good traders. They just have good stock traders, or they have good hedge fund managers. It got to be one or the other. So let's just chalk it up as a coincidence. Congress, okay, I give you applause. You are very good at trading, and you guys have a skill. You guys have a skill at trading. It's just what it is. Now I want to compare the top 3 hedge fund returns of 2023 versus the top 3 Congress returns of 2023. If you guys don't know what I'm trying to say, is I'm comparing the top 3. The highest 3 returns for hedge fund firms in 2023, the highest 3 returns for Congress members in 2023. Let's go. Number 1 hedge fund return, with the highest hedge fund return in 2023, was TCI Fund Management with a 33% return. Congress's number 1 return, which you guys obviously know, is Brian Higgins with a 238.9% return. Number 2 for hedge fund is Millennium Management with a 10% return. And 2 for Congress is Mark Green with a 122.2% return. Number 3 for hedge fund is Appaloosa Management with a 28% return. And number 3 for Congress is Garrett Graves with a 107.6% return. Congress is just whooping these hedge fund firms, these hedge fund managers. Brian Higgins, he needs to drop out. He needs to become a hedge fund manager ASAP, because if he was, I would actually invest my money into Brian. I would give my money to Brian Higgins to invest. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. The top 3 returns in Congress is above 100%. At least double their money minimum. How is this possible? Congress is killing hedge funds, but how? Hedge funds literally do this for a living. They are investors. This is what they do for a living. They invest people's money. They are money managers. And how is Congress, people who just make laws, beating them? If I'm looking at this right, there's no insider trading. Insider trading is illegal. It's illegal. You can't do that. You'll go to jail for that. That's wrong. The Congress is supposed to be looking out for us, not using the information to buy stock to help them get more money. That's just not how it works. This brings us to the question, do they know something that we don't know? Does Congress know something that we don't know? They might not. Looking at these numbers, I can see why a lot of people are upset at the facts of congressional trading is allowed. These numbers are insane, bro. These I don't even know how to explain these numbers, but I can see why a lot of people are upset that Congress members are allowed to trade stocks. What has the government been doing to look into this? Because obviously, the government is looking at these numbers like, hold on. The SEC is looking at these numbers like, hold on, what is going on? What is going on? Okay, in 2012, former President Barack Obama signed into the law, Stop Trading on Congressional Knowledge Act, the Stock Act. Basically, it's making it illegal to insider trade. It's making it illegal to insider trade. That was just passed in 2012. Congress has been around for decades and decades. So basically what the Stock Act is, if you guys don't know, if members of Congress make questionable trades or fail to report trades, they can face an investigation with the Committee on House Ethics. Lawmakers can be fined about $200 for failing to report trades. Nice, $200, wow. As of October 2021, 40 plus members of Congress failed to properly report their trades as mandated by the Stock Act. So there was actually a bill that was just introduced to Congress by Representative J. Powell Pramila, a Democrat of Washington. And the bill is called the Bipartisan Ban on Congressional Stock Ownership. Basically, what this bill prohibits members of Congress and their spouses from owning or trading stocks, bonds, commodities, futures, or any form of security. This bill has been introduced but not passed yet. I don't think this bill is going to be passed. There's no way a man like Brian Higgins getting 200+% returns on his stocks is going to let this bill go through. The bill has been introduced, but it has not been passed, has not been looked at yet. The bill was introduced on March 21st, 2023. Let's get into the Congressional stock scandal of 2020. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting. Basically, if you guys don't know what it's been reported that a number of senators sold their stock holdings after being briefed about the coronavirus and the massive impact it will have upon the economy, jobs, and the stock market. All the while telling the American public that there wasn't much to worry about. It's not that big of a deal. Stay calm. Nothing's going to happen. They bailed out their stock holdings to avoid large losses. Isn't that the definition of insider trading? This is after this was almost 8 years after the Stock Act was passed by Barack Obama. Is this not insider trading? Well, let's look into it. The Georgia Senator Kelly Loeffler was also at this meeting. She sold stocks valued at around $1.275 million to $3.1 million. And in an apparent effort to avoid potential losses, guess what she also did? She purchased stocks in 2 companies that were deemed to benefit from the coronavirus, including one company that offers teleconferencing softwares, which is a company like Zoom, Google Meets, etc., etc. She probably bought stock in Zoom, if we're being honest. You know what her response was to this? Her office issued a statement on that Friday. Senator Loeffler does not make investment decisions for her portfolio. Investment decisions are made by multiple third-party advisors without her or her husband's knowledge or involvement. Do you want to know who her husband is? Jeffrey Sprecher, the chairman of the New York Stock Exchange. Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. That's up for you guys to decide. The Democratic senator from California, Dianne Feinstein, who is a ranking member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, sold stock owned by herself and husband valued at $1.5 and $6 million between the 31st of January and February 18th of 2020. A spokesperson for Feinstein said all of Senator Feinstein's assets are in a blind trust. Okay, this might be true. That might be true, because some rich people do have a blind trust. They give their money to money managers. That is a reasonable explanation. Okay. But another senator, Oklahoma Republican Jim Inhofe, sold stocks on January 27th that amounted to $400,000, according to his disclosure report. He responded to the accusation that he didn't attend the initial briefing of COVID and he doesn't have any involvement in his investment. Okay. I mean, it is possible that these senators don't have control over their stocks. That's totally true. That is a very viable option. That they just have they have their money in a blind trust, or and they give their money to money managers, and they make their investment decisions for these senators. But one thing I can't get off of is just the numbers, the returns, the Brian Higgins of the world, the Mark Greens of the world, the Garrett Graves of the world. With they have over 100% returns in the stock market in 2023. That's just what, you know. They might be good traders, and applaud to them. But it's crazy because 32 members of Congress beat the S&P 500. Hey, it might be a coincidence. It might not be. I don't know. It's up for you guys to decide. I'm just giving you guys the information for you guys to make a judgment based on your own thought process. But that was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a good day. Peace out.